everyone, I'm Allie from A Glass After Work, and thanks for joining me. Happy Wine Wednesday. Today I am going to share with you the wines I received in my May 2018 Gary Vee Wine Club. I know we've done a couple of the wine clubs in the past. You may remember it's $55, and you never know how many wines you're going to get. It could be anywhere between 1 and 4 wines. And it's usually, I think, a pretty good value. Admittedly, I haven't had any wines that, I shouldn't say that. Admittedly, I've only had a couple of wines that I have really been in love with, but I've liked all of them. I haven't had a wine that was bad. There's only really been one that I would go and purchase again, and that was the Love Cabernet that was a collaboration with Raymond Vineyards and John Legend. Besides that, I've liked all of the wines, but I haven't loved them, so I'm interested to see what this month will hold. This month we got 3 wines, 2 whites and a red. So why don't we start off with tasting one of the whites. This white is a 2016 Illuminati Trebbiano called Costalupo. The Costalupo is actually a blend of 3 grapes. It's according to the spec sheet that you get with the wine. It's 70% Trebbiano, 15% Passerina, and I've never had a Passerina before, so it's fun to try a new grape. And then 15% Chardonnay. Now, list price for the wine is $14, so we're in that under $20 mark. Definitely something that could be an everyday wine. And as we take a look, the wine is definitely, it's kind of hard to tell with my hand behind it, but it's definitely a darker yellow. It's super, super clear though, which is always good. And let's take a sniff. I filled it a little full to swirl. Okay, so I'm definitely getting some stone fruits, lots of nectarines, and some white peaches, and also some like white flower blossoms, like white orange blossoms. Maybe a hint of like limes, especially like maybe like lime zest. All right, I'm gonna give it a taste. Cheers. So I'm definitely getting a lot of those limes on the palate. Still some stone fruits, much more in the nectarine and in the white peach direction, but I'm still getting both of those. The wine is a maybe light to medium body, a little heavier than you would get from like a Pinot Grigio or some of the other Italian whites. It's still got a nice bright acidity though, so something that might be nice with cheese, like a goat cheese would go really, really well with this if you wanted to use this with appetizers. Also would go really well if you wanted to use it for a main dish with something that's got a little more heft to it, like a linguine with clams and white wine sauce. This would be beautiful. Could also just in general be good with seafood. I could see this being oysters or even grilled fish. It's not very complex. It's a pretty simple wine, but it would be a good porch sipper on a hot day. Go sit out in the backyard, have some conversation, have some cheese, or something like that. This would be perfect. Why don't we take a look at the other wines? Next up is this Chardonnay. It's Westerly Wines 2014 Bent Rock Vineyard Chardonnay. It comes from the Santa Rita Hills area of California. And this wine, according to the spec sheet, this wine is a $55 wine. So that just on its own, this wine is the cost of the wine club. And we ended up with 3 wines. And so 1 wine equals the cost of the wine club. So 2 wines essentially are free, right? The Westerly is 100% Chardonnay. I've never had it before, but from the description list, it talks about how it's going to be a lighter wine. It talks about lime rinds and chopped lemongrass flavors. It uses a description about salted lemon juice, so clearly we're getting some citrus and some salinity in there. I've never had a wine that reminds me of salted lemon juice, so I'm particularly interested, but it means that it's going to be much more reminiscent of a French Chardonnay than it is of what you normally expect from a California Chardonnay. So I think without having looked at it, I don't know whether it's seen any oak at all, but I would imagine if it did, it's not seen too much of it. So that should be really interesting. Definitely not a wine that I'm going to open up on a random day after work. Probably save it for something a little nicer since it is a $55 bottle of wine. But yeah, don't normally spend that much on a Chardonnay, so I'm excited to try it. And last up is a 2013 Grivapessa Settimo. It's a super Tuscan from Italy, obviously. This wine received 90 points from Wine Spectator. I know I've mentioned it before. I'm not a big paying attention to points kind of person. I know sometimes it's something that's really important to other people. It's not something that generally is important to me, but it's always nice to know if a wine is in that 90-point category. And so just taking a look, this red wine is also a $50 bottle of wine. So we clearly got more than $100 worth of wine in the $55 wine club, which is always very exciting. It makes me feel like I'm getting my money's worth. I hope that they're all good, and so even more getting my money's worth. But so it's a $50 wine. It's a blend of Sangiovese, Merlot, and Syrah. And the spec sheet says that it's good to drink now through 2022. I think I've mentioned this before. I don't have room to cellar, so this isn't a wine that's going to hang around very long. It's one that probably in the next 6 months or so will get consumed because I just can't keep it for that long. Also means that because it's on the younger side, I would probably run it through an aerator or decant it for a little bit just to kind of give it a little room to breathe so I can really get a feeling for what the flavors are when we open it. So that's all I've got for you today. I would be interested to know, are you an Italian wine drinker in general? Do you like Italian whites? If you do, I would definitely love to know if you have any Italian white wine recommendations. We drink a lot of Italian wine, particularly since my husband is a white wine drinker. There's a lot of Italian white wines in the house, so I'm always looking for a good Italian white. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. I definitely appreciate those. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel. You can do that right below, and hit the little bell so that you can be reminded when I upload the videos. As you probably can tell, I upload videos every Wine Wednesday. And I will leave comments about each of the wines on the Gary Vee Wine Club below. So thanks for joining me. Happy Wine Wednesday. Cheers.